Today we're going to be discussing the spiral math for Monday. So we are going to go through the problems, and feel free to fast forward to the problems that you may be stuck on. If you have any other questions, bring them to tutorials or have them ready at the beginning of class. Let's get started. Let's start with Monday, the first problem. So the problem is 23 times 536. So first thing I'm going to do is rewrite this. It does not matter which number that you choose to put on the top. I just like to put the largest number. So remember, when you're multiplying, we do 3 times 6, which is 18, carry a 1. 3 times 3, which is 9, plus that 1 is 10, carry a 1. 3 times 5 is 15, plus that 1 is 16. Do not forget your placeholder, because this placeholder makes this 2 actually 20, because out of 23, it represents 20 plus 3. So it needs to have that placeholder to represent 20. So then you have 2 times 6, which is 12. Carry the 1 from the 12. 2 times 3, which is 6, plus that 1 is 7, so you don't need to carry anything. And 2 times 5, which is 10. And then we are going to add. So we have 8, 2, 6 plus 7 is 13, carry a 1. 1 plus 1 is 2, 1. And then we're going to write this nicely. You will have 12,328 as your final answer. Question number 2 for Monday is a division problem, and they already have it set up for you. So the way I like to do this is going through each number. So I first decide, can 8 go into 2? It cannot, so I'm going to place a 0. I always like to have my placeholders. Then, so that would be 8 times 0 is 0. Bring the 2 down, bring the 4. Some of you can skip this step, but I'm just trying to be helpful for future problems. 8 times what gives me 24? That would be 3. So I subtract 0. You still need to drop down this 0. 8 goes into 0, 0 times, which is 0. 8 times 0 is 0. So my final answer is 30. Let's take a look at the next problem. So obviously your teacher was very nice and went ahead and lined your decimal up for you. So remember, when you are solving problems with decimals and you're adding or subtracting, we must line the decimal up. So then we can just subtract or add on this one. 6 plus 3 is 9. 5 plus 8 is 13, so we have to carry the 1 to the next place value. Drop that decimal down. 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 4 is 7. So you have 7 39/100ths as your final answer. Next, we are reviewing modeling fractions. So this one is 2/5, and they have already broken it into fifths for you, because you notice there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we talked about today how a fraction represents a part of a whole, so the part is 2 parts of the 5. So color in 2 parts of the 5, and so now you have 2/5. Next, we have simplifying fractions. A lot of you were doing this today when we were working on ordering fractions as well. So 4/12. So there are several different ways to do 4/12, but I know that 4 will go into both of them. So divide by 4, which will give me 1/3. And the reason we can divide by 4 on top and by 4 on the bottom is because if you think of it this way, you're dividing it by 4/4. So really, you are dividing this by 1 actually, which means if I divide anything by 1, it's the same value. Okay, and then we have 3/9, and I know that 3 divided by, I can divide both of them by 3. So 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 9 divided by 3 is 3. So these are both 1/3 examples of how to simplify to get to 1/3. Okay, next we are on to the back on Monday. So we are just finding the products, and remember, products mean to multiply. So 9 times 8 is 72. 7 times 9 is 63. 6 times 8 is 48. 7 times 8 is 56. 6 times 9 is 54. 7 times 6 is 42, and 7 times 7 is 49. Okay, next we have an order of operations problem. Remember, it's either B or P for bracket or parentheses, E for exponent, such as like 5 squared, that's an exponent, MD, which is multiplication and division, so you're either multiplying or you're dividing, and then adding and subtracting, so adding and subtracting, and these go left to right, left to right. So in this one, we see that we have multiplying and we have dividing and we also have subtracting. So we're going to take care of multiplying and dividing first. So we're going to go left to right. So we're going to take care of this multiplication first. 6 times 7 gives me 42. Then I'm going to rewrite everything else. Next, so I took care of the multiplication, but I still have division, so we need to take care of that as well. So 42 minus 8 divided by 4, which is 2. And then you have 42 minus 2, which is 40. Remember, with order of operations, you have to use PEMDAS or BEMDAS, or some people call it GEMDAS, just depending what your teacher told you. They all mean the same thing. And we are finishing off Monday with a word problem fraction. So let's read this together. Ms. Rivera ate 3/8 of a pizza. And Miss Carter ate 4/8 of a pizza. How much pizza did they eat all together? So we know all together means that I need to add them together. So I have to think of 3/8 plus 4/8. So remember, when you're adding fractions, you have to have that common denominator, which these already have a common denominator. So we are going to leave it 8, and 3 plus 4 would be 7. So 7/8. If for some reason you thought the answer was 7/16, I want you to think about that. 4/8 is half, is another way to write half. So she ate half of a pizza plus some more, where 7/16 is not even half, because 8/16 is half. So this answer does not make sense if you think about actually what does 4/8 represent. Don't always just focus on the math. Think about your final answer. If you ate 3/8 of a pizza and then you ate another 4/8, you're going to be really close to eating the entire pizza. Well, that's it for today. This was today's quick video on the spiral math. If you have any questions, come see in tutorials or ask in class. I hope this helped.